Hey yo, football fans, it's another great year. Fantasy football fiends, grab your beer. Giving you the best draft tips for your picks. Starts and sits to the waiver wire fix. From mock drafts galore to stats that's hardcore. Triple F does it all, have y'all screaming more. So sit back, relax, let the experts prevail. JT Magnum, Ziggy Guns never fail.
What is up, Fantasy Football Fiends? My name is Ziggy Guns along with
JT Magnum.
And it is Week 4 Pick'em Show. We'll also be talking about the San Francisco at St. Louis game for Thursday night. But before we start, we want to apologize for the Week 2 ticker that we were just seeing below the last couple of shows. We are aware of the problem. We did fix it, so now it should say Week 4 at the bottom, and those are the correct picks and our fantasy people. And also, speaking of fantasy updates, Ahmad Bradshaw is ruled out for Sunday, so if you have Trent Richardson, we slot him into anything that we said of Ahmad Bradshaw, and also you might want to slide him into your fantasy lineup because he's going to get the bulk of the carries now. So, San Francisco at St. Louis Thursday night. JT, you're the 49er fan. What you think about the game?
I liked the win by the 49ers, but I wasn't happy with the offense. The defense did very well against a really bad St. Louis team. But Colin Kaepernick still looks a little lost. He was missing wide open receivers, and I mean, I've saw a few occasions where receivers were breaking open, and he just didn't throw it because he was either on the run, trying to do something with his legs, which I think he needs to stay in the pocket more. I was happy that they ran Frank Gore. It's about time that they just ran the workhorse. That's back to Niner football, but I wasn't happy that there was a lot of 3-and-outs. So against a depleted St. Louis team as well. So I wasn't happy about that, but I'm glad they got the win, got back on track. But it's going to be a tough game next week against Houston.
Yeah, they look good. I thought they looked all right. Kaepernick, at least he's starting to realize that he needs to throw the ball, and that was what I was hoping for fantasy-wise.
Yeah.
St. Louis, man, they just look like a mess. And, I didn't think that the team was that bad entering this season, and now they just look like they're starting to fall apart. And I don't know if it's just too many rookie receivers. Maybe they really did miss Steven Jackson that much. But that team looks horrendous right now. It really does.
They look bad.
And that was at home, and they looked like they were playing away.
Yeah.
But we'll go ahead and get started with the pick'ems. First game of the Sunday, what I have here, Indianapolis Colts at Jacksonville. I don't even think we need to talk about this one, right?
We're going to go Indianapolis, although Jacksonville and Indy are always a tough matchup against each other because they're, division rivals, and Maurice Jones-Drew always plays well against Indy. And I think he's going to play well, but Indy's a little too good for Jacksonville.
I think even with Ahmad Bradshaw out, they don't lose anything, and, having Trent Richardson take the full load. And then obviously Andrew Luck in the receiving core is doing great as far as, passing and all that. I think they'll be fine. I think Jacksonville is just that bad of a team, so Indianapolis all the way on that. Seattle at Houston. A pretty interesting matchup. It's at Houston, so who knows, but what do you think?
Houston's Andre Johnson, I heard, was a little banged up, but I did read today that he is going to play. He was my must start, believe it or not. I remember they said he's going to go against Richard Sherman. Apparently, he's not going against Richard Sherman. It's probably going to be Brandon Browner most of the time on him, which bodes well for Houston. But anyways, I'm going to take Houston because they're at home. And Seattle's a good team, but they always struggle on the road.
You think Houston's defense will show up to stop Russell Wilson?
Not only will Houston's defense show up, but Seattle's missing 3 offensive linemen as starters. They're missing 3 offensive linemen as starters. They're starting 3, I think, rookies, or pretty much, second stringers.
Well, then I wouldn't be surprised if Houston win, but I'm going to pick Seattle. They just look too good so far. I just don't see anybody beating them yet, not even Houston. Chicago at Detroit. I think this is going to be a lot closer than anybody thinks.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot closer as well. And I actually I like Chicago because they just have such a balance on running and passing, and their defense is much better than Detroit's.
This is how I look at it. I'm picking Detroit, and usually whenever you start going down the schedules, you always have those teams where it's the division, like we were talking about earlier, with Jackson and Annapolis, and it just seems to always be Detroit wins to Detroit, Chicago wins to Chicago. So if they're going to split, then I would think Detroit would have this game. So I'll pick Detroit. New York Giants at Kansas City. I can't believe, the Chiefs and the Giants, the way their season's going. What do you got so far?
I'm going to go with the Giants. Their backs against the wall. They usually play really tough. And I know Kansas City's defense is really good, and they are good, but I'm going to go with the Giants. That's all I'm going to say. I don't trust
You know
Alex
what?
Smith.
I agree 100%. There's just no way I can see the Giants going 0-4, and there's no way I can see the Chiefs going 4-0. So it's almost like
Yep.
two impossible possibilities going up against each other. So
Yeah.
the Giants
And the Giants have Alex Smith's number.
they do, yo. And I mean, who knows though? I mean, Andy Reid knows the Giants. You know, he's that's why he's playing so good against these NFC East teams. He knows them. He beat the Cowboys. He beat the Eagles, and now he plays the Giants. And I mean, who knows? But you just have to think the odds are in the Giants' favor at this point. All right, Cincinnati at Cleveland. What you got?
I like Cincinnati. They just have Cleveland's. I mean, I know they did well with Brian Hoyer at quarterback, but Cincinnati's defense is really tough. So Cleveland has a tougher matchup. Minnesota's defense is not as good as Cincinnati, so I like Cincinnati coming into Cleveland and whooping them.
Yeah, I think Cincinnati would take this game also. I mean, we saw Cleveland beat Minnesota, but Minnesota has a subpar QB. I wouldn't even put it at average at this point, and they beat him. They won't beat Dalton. That's the way I look at it. Arizona at Tampa Bay. What you got there?
Tampa Bay starting the rookie, so I'm gonna go. Although Revis Island, that Tampa Bay defense is really tough, but you know what? I'm gonna actually go with Tampa Bay just because they're at home.
Nah, I was saying, I'm gonna pick Arizona. The way I look at it is that Mike Glennon, he's just doesn't have any preparation with his first team offense. He had 3 days or however long it's been this week, 4 days. I just don't know that that's gonna be enough to say you're gonna be ready and you're gonna not make mistakes. I think he's gonna have 2-3 interceptions probably, or maybe even a forced fumble, hold the ball too long. It's his first game. He's gonna have the jitters and stuff. So I can't see them beating an Arizona team led by Carson Palmer. So I'll go Arizona. Baltimore at Buffalo.
I'm gonna go Baltimore.
Yeah,
Buffalo's tough at home,
really...
but Buffalo's too banged up. They have no secondary. Flacco's going to eat them up this week. And Flacco's not that good to me, but he is going to eat them up this week.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that, and also I got a feeling that Bernard Pierce he's running with some kind of spark right now.
Oh, yeah. And Ray Rice is injured still, so. Ray
We
Rice is
saw
going to
what
go,
happened.
but I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah, we saw what happened with the Jets last week. They ran all over Buffalo, and just imagine, even if Ray Rice is there, I mean, both of them are just going to tear him up.
Yeah.
So, Baltimore. Pittsburgh at Minnesota. I think this is going to be the game finally Pittsburgh wins. What do you think?
I actually think so, too. They have the tougher run defense, and Le'Veon Bell is actually going to play for them, but Minnesota can't stop the pass, and Ben Roethlisberger is finally going to break loose, I think, and Minnesota, we all know it's Adrian Peterson, and what does Pittsburgh have? They have a good run defense, so I see Pittsburgh being the victor in this one.
And so far, we got a lot of road teams winning. All right, next on the game on the
schedule. That one's in London. There'll
right.
probably be more Steeler fans than there will be Minnesota fans there, even though Minnesota's the home team considered.
Yeah, that's true. That is the London game. I forgot about that, and also, yeah, I mean, known teams around the world, especially, are going to be Pittsburgh Steelers and the New England Patriots, Giants, stuff like that. So yeah, everyone's going to be like, who's Minnesota?
Yep.
New York Jets at Tennessee. What you got?
I like Tennessee. I think Jets are. It's going to be close. I don't know. It could come down to the wire. Jets are playing well. Geno Smith is actually playing well. I'm impressed with the rookie, but Jake Locker is playing lights out football right now, and I think Chris Johnson's might run a little wild today or in that game. So I see Tennessee.
I'm gonna go with my Jets. I've already seen enough of Geno Smith to believe in him. Not just playing. I mean, I think it's just gonna be one of those games where it's gonna be low scoring. They're not gonna be able to do much because both defenses are playing pretty good. It'll come down to a turnover, and unfortunately, the Jets are probably going to be the ones most likely to turn over the ball, or they're going to have 100 penalties again. But I'll still pick the Jets to win by a field goal. Dallas at San Diego.
That's a tough one, but I'm going to pick San Diego only because they're at home, and Phillip Rivers is just tough at home to beat. So I'm just gonna go with the Chargers. I think he's gonna pass the ball on. I don't think Ryan Matthews is gonna go off, but I think Phillip Rivers is.
I think if DeMarco Murray plays the way he played last week against San Diego, then the Dallas Cowboys should win the game easily because they'll control the offense and they'll keep Phillip Rivers off the field. So I'm going to go Dallas in a tight one also. I think it's going to be high scoring, but it's going to be close. Almost a shootout, but not quite. Washington at Oakland.
I like the Redskins to finally get on the board. I don't know if Oakland's going to have Terrell Pryor. It looks like they're going to have him, but even if they did, I don't see them being able to beat the Redskins, and I think Redskins are finally going to get it going offensively. So we should see a Redskin win this week.
Yeah, I think what we've noticed with the Redskins is that they were behind, they come back, they were behind, they come back, and then last week it finally looked like they could have won the game, and they just, unraveled at the end. So I think, if you're looking at a progressive part, then they're showing progress, and Oakland is just a bad team. They beat Jacksonville, I think is their only win this year, and, I mean, they have some flash, but Pryor is probably going to be hesitant to run, especially after the concussion. So that's going to take away part of his game, and I think Washington will capitalize on that. Philadelphia at Denver. Here's going to be a shootout.
I don't think it's going to be a shootout. I actually think Denver's going to shut them down.
Man.
But I see Denver killing them. That's all I see is Denver killing them. I don't see Philadelphia being able to. They can't run. They have to run the ball. They need McCoy. So without that run game, Denver's run defense is ridiculous. So I don't know.
Yeah, but their pass offense is horrendous, though.
No, their pass defense is not that bad, man. It's just that teams are passing on them so much because they stop the run so well. They're giving up 43 yards per game rushing. That's it. That team is so good that you have to pass.
I got a feeling it's opposite, though. I think their run defense looks so good because every team is passing the hell out of them.
I have Denver in a blowout.
I have Denver winning also. Don't get me wrong. Denver's going to win this game.
How many points do you think Philly's going to score?
I wouldn't be surprised if they score 38 points at least.
No. I see this game being like 34 to like 13 Denver. I'm going to call it 34-13 Denver.
I'm going to go 52-38. That's what I'm going to go.
Wow.
It's going to be that kind of game. And this time they're not going to run the ball with no Sean Moreno and E clock. Now it's going to be both of them are going to be trading blows. I think Denver's just going to be ahead by 2 touchdowns. New England at Atlanta. This is the matchup of the week. Sunday Night Football.
I like New England. Atlanta's if Steven Jackson was playing, I think I would pick Atlanta. I know they have the two-headed horse in Snelling and Jacquizz Rodgers, but they're no Steven Jackson. Like you game plan differently for those two where you would for Steven Jackson, and I don't think Atlanta can match up with New England and Tom Brady. And if Gronkowski ends up playing, it's definitely going to be New England.
All right, Gronkowski is playing. But there's just so much that offense can do if their receivers are just dropping the ball. I just don't see New England beating a better team. Atlanta's at home. Yes, they have some injury concerns. But
they got a lot of injury concerns.
They do have a lot of injuries.
Their whole linebacker core is hurt, I think.
New England is scrapping, but they're the 3-0 team that can easily be 0-3 if you just if you watch the games. And I just don't see them going into Atlanta, even with a depleted team with injuries, beating them like they were New England of the past. Until they show me that they can, consistently put up points, I'm going to pick Atlanta. Miami at New Orleans. This is going to be a close game, I think. But what do you think? Monday Night Football.
I like New Orleans defense. They've stepped it up. They have just been playing really good football. So, and they're at home, and you already know when Drew Brees is at home how he plays. So, just with that factor alone, I'm going to go. Even though Miami's a really good team, I think New Orleans is going to win.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, we talked about it last couple of weeks. When Drew Brees is in his home, his dome, he goes nuts. And Miami's defense has been playing good. But I just don't. It's one of those quarterbacks, kind of like Peyton Manning right now. You just can't stop and Aaron Rodgers.
He's
you can't
tough.
stop them. You can't stop them. No matter how good your defense is, they're going to be passing the ball. So all you can do is hope to contain them. So yeah, New Orleans. So that's all the picks for the week. Anything else?
Yeah, just continue to leave your comments in the comment section. Siggy and I will keep up to date as much as we can. I've been trying my best, and I have been steering people in the right direction. I've noticed a few occasions where I've steered some people in the right direction, so I'm glad I can help you guys if you guys did set your lineups the way I let you know about my thoughts. But yeah, continue to leave comments. Let us know about your picks this week. I haven't really seen that many picks this week or picks in the comments, but feel free to leave them in there and let us know what you guys think of the week 4 games. So that's it. You got any last second thoughts?
Nope.
Nope. All right.
Go Jets.
All right. I would say go Niners, but they already won. So go Texans. Because they're playing the Seahawks. All right. Well, Fantasy Football Fiends, JT Magnum and Siggy Guns, we out. Peace, y'all.